All right, my role is the graphic designer, so a little introduction to our exhibit is that, first of all, everything is bilingual, both English and Spanish. So whenever you see italic type, the slanted kind, that will show you that that's going to be the Spanish text. When it's the darker blue color is used, that's English. When the darker green color is used, that's Spanish. And when we don't have room to separate the two, we will sometimes put a little yellow sun, and then we'll run them all together, but still the color will change, and the italic will identify the Spanish. So a lot of times if you go on and look at our PDFs, and I do hope you do that because it will give you all the information, they're going to look like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of text here. But it really isn't. Half of it is Spanish, half of it's English. So it's going to look like it's a lot of text, but it's really not as much. So this is just, everything in the display is a way of helping you, giving you a stopping off or a jumping off point to interact with the visitors. Ask them what they think about solar energy. So the beginning, different places, there's places where they can put a little post-it talking about how they feel about the sun. They can look at themselves in a mirror that is shaped like the sun. The one that's most interesting to the kids is the hand crank generator. So as they crank it, they can compare how much energy it takes to light a LED bulb versus a typical, what would you call that? Incandescent bulb. So it takes 8 more times energy to get that incandescent bulb to light up than it does the LED. Kids love that. And then they can see, you know, there's a difference there. On the outside, we've got our little duck in the fountain. Hopefully he'll be there. But we definitely have the fountain that they can see how the solar panel connects to the fountain and helps power the fountain, the water to go up. There's, you can watch a video of students sailing in the boat regatta. That's in the inside. There's a place where you can look up your address in the state of Minnesota. It'll show you your house and whether it's a good candidate for solar, which is another one that parents especially really like. But it's really interesting to them to see. They can look in the solar trailer and see how batteries can be used to store energy when you're not on the grid. Let's see what else. Then there's other interesting information about how solar can be used to in outside areas, non-American areas, how electric bikes, how you can reduce your household energy first before you put panels on your house. Obviously, the less energy you use, the fewer panels you need on your house. So it's the first step you should take before you put panels on your house. And then,
the new
anyway,
solar pollinator exhibit.
Right. So the biggest thing on the outside of the exhibit, we have our giant solar array, and around it we'll have some plants. And the theme of that is showing how around a solar garden in the community, you can, if you plant native flowers, then you're actually helping our native bee and other pollinators thrive, and how that benefits our local ecosystem. And we have some beautiful, beautiful pictures. So this panel is like 8 feet wide, and there's 30 different pictures taken by Heather Holm at the university. And they're just gorgeous pictures. I don't know how she does it, to get these pictures of bees on the flowers, getting their pollen. And so then we've also created a little character, we call him Rusty Bombas, but named after our state bee, Minnesota State Bee. I don't know if you know that we have a Minnesota State Bee. We just recently got one. He was named our state bee. He's actually the rusty-patched bumblebee. His scientific name is Bombus affinis, or aphinus, I'm not sure exact pronunciation, but we call him Rusty Bombus for short. And so on that panel, there's a cartoon of him, and he kind of flits around through the flowers and the pictures of the bees, but he also explains how he's endangered. So it's sad that our Minnesota State Bee is in danger. We can't have that. So it talks about ways that we can help protect him and other pollinators. And then within the whole exhibit, we have these little icons that talk about the Drought Solution, which is a reference to a book called Drawdown. And it's basically showing throughout our exhibit all the different ideas that if we implemented them on a global scale, how they would impact the reduction of CO2 emissions and reduce that, how we would draw down CO2 emissions worldwide if that idea, that specific idea, was implemented on a global basis. So, you know, you'll see that little round, yellow round thing with the arrow, and you'll see that throughout the exhibit.
I think we have about 17, maybe not that.
17 or 18 of them, indoors and out. And so whenever we talked about something that was in the book Drawdown, we highlighted it with that kind of a circle. And so it's a way of showing that these aren't just fun ideas, but if everybody in the world implemented some of these ideas, we can make a huge impact on climate change.
And so here's the book, and we'll have some of books around so that you can actually reference what they're seeing. It's an experiment. We don't know if it's going to work. People won't have heard of this book. If you go to the website drawdown.org, I really encourage you to do that. There's 80 different solutions to reversing global warming by 2050 or 2030. So anyway, check it out. We're just trying to pump the reverse global warming theme, and that's what these prize books are.
Are those all my slides? I didn't know what my slides were either.
That's all.
And this gentleman wanted to make a comment.
Yeah, sure, John.
Hi, this is John Dunlop again. As Mark pointed out, the conference we had last week was focused on taking urgent climate action. And the issues that she just talked about for Project Drawdown are things that we can do for ourselves. One of the major challenges we have is that we need to convert our entire transportation system to electric vehicles. So as you talk with visitors at the fair, you might refer them to the other exhibit in the Eco Experience Building, which is being staffed by members of the EV owners group in Minnesota. And they'll have electric vehicles on display. It'll be a good chance for them to kick the tires of an actual EV that'll be there as well.